This is Auto Marketing Now with Brian Pash.
Welcome to Auto Marketing Now. I'm Brian Pash, and on today's show, our special guest is Jerry Tebow. He's going to be talking about his innovative new software solution called Talk Options, which will transform anybody's website into a multi-channel communication tool that's engaging online shoppers. Of course, we're going to have our popular marketing tips and email grab bag, so let's get started with today's show. I'm excited to welcome today's show, Jerry Tebow. He's the CEO and founder of Talk Options and Phone Ninjas. Jerry, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Brian.
Well, I wanted to have you on today's show because your new project and technology is something that, well, isn't just for the automotive industry. It's for anyone who has a website and who wants to give their potential customers more ways to communicate with their business.
Absolutely, Brian. It's called Talk Options.
Right.
And we've put a widget on the website that makes it very easy for customers to choose how they want to talk to your business.
So let's talk about that. Jerry, you know, most websites have a phone number. Maybe they pop up a chat box. We're starting to see some people offering text. Why is your product really timely for business owners who are trying to connect with consumers online?
Well, you hit the nail on the head there, Brian. You know, so you get these websites. Some of them don't have anything at all. So
right.
you try to figure out how you're going to talk to somebody, and you just can't find them.
Right.
So we put this nice little widget together where it's got all the different options right there.
So let's go through them. I see phone, chat, text, email, and then even the stars. What's the stars for?
The star is all about leaving a review.
Okay.
So we'll talk more about that in a little bit.
Great. So when we look at Talk Options, the way I see it is instead of predetermining a way in which consumers have to communicate with your business, well, aren't you giving them the option to pick a channel that they're most comfortable with?
Some people might like text. Some people might like chat better than, you know, phone call or even email.
Well, I know my 18-year-old son, if he had a choice and he comes to a website, he'd rather text.
As would I.
Okay. So what's limiting today with dealers' current communication methods? What's broken?
So you're seeing a lot of different things are popping up, like you got a chat box popping up on one side of the page, a text box popping up somewhere else.
Right.
And, you know, it just gets confusing. And so this stays static on the website, right on the side of it. You can put it on the left side or the right side.
Okay.
And it's there, and the customer can choose when to activate that box.
And what happens when they click then
So
on that box?
Basically, a little form will pop up,
Okay.
and they can you can limit what they put, or what you can ask them. Say, I want your name and phone number, or you can just say, I just want your name.
Okay.
They can also choose to communicate by department. So
Okay.
if you're
So you could route these communications to
the
sales,
appropriate
service,
person.
warranty, whatever.
Wherever you want.
Okay, great,
Yes.
great. Now tell me, we put this widget on a website. We have salespeople, you know, roaming around the office. Maybe they're at their desk. How do they know that someone wants to engage with them on the website?
Great question, Ryan.
Okay.
So it's all about lead response time. And anytime somebody fills out one of our forms or makes a phone call or does a chat, salespeople are notified via text message, and they get an alert letting them know that they have a lead. And then it's basically first person to get to that lead can actually claim that lead.
So when you're seeing problems today, that there's a delay sometimes on a website, by the time it gets into the CRM, there's some natural delay time. We're also improving the response time.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. So I can tell you for a fact that within 5 seconds of somebody submitting that lead, text messages are going out to your employees, and there's no reason why they should not be getting back to that lead within 5 minutes. And you know, when you can respond to somebody that quick, you're going to actually catch them while they're still on your website, which is what you want.
Yeah, and I call that the wow factor, right? We need to wow consumers online, potential customers. Well, when you can really show them that you care, if they took the time to visit your website, and I've said this over and over to dealers, or any business, it wasn't by accident they came to your website. It wasn't because they were bored and just stumbled on your website. Now, for people who have an organized sales department, right, a business development center, a call center, or a customer contact center, what do they see when these alerts come in? What's the management of all this data?
So when they log in, they basically have, they see their text, they see their chat, they see their email, and they can also see their phone calls. And they log into the tool and they can see the fresh leads there. And there's a little claim button. They hit claim. It's now theirs, and they can respond to it. Managers can chime into any conversation if they'd like to as well.
So what you really have provided is an internet lead management system.
Exactly.
And is there any additional charge for that whole back-end management?
No, we give that away for free.
Wow. Okay, so let's talk about these different channels. So we first have click to call. Are these calls recorded? Are they monitored, scored? Tell me what the call function is on the software.
So yes, the calls can be recorded. When somebody chooses the click call feature, it's going to look a little different based on whether they're on the mobile website or the regular website. Okay. So on a mobile website, we can see that PCG.
Yes, we're using talk options. We love that.
You can see it's right at the bottom.
Yep.
When they click to call, it'll actually pop up the
phone number.
The phone number, which dealers should be Googling themselves and making sure that click to call feature is out there on the web, and they certainly want to have it when on a website as well.
Right, because business owners need to know that it's probably about a 7-to-1 ratio. On a mobile phone, if someone has the option to call a business or fill out some information form, 7-to-1 times they're going to call first. So having the click to call function, I think this is really important. Some mobile websites don't have click to call. They just show this phone number. Sometimes I've even seen phone numbers in an image, so the mobile phone, iOS, won't allow it to hyperlink.
Right.
So you're really streamlining mobile communications as well.
And when they're on the actual website, there's basically a little form that they fill out, it gives their name, and then when they hit submit, it then calls the business, says website lead. It'll even say the customer's name if they left their name in the form.
Right.
And so they automatically, when the phone's going to ring a second time to the customer, and the customer's going to be there, and they'll actually be able to say, hey, Brian, thanks for calling the dealership. How can I help you today?
That's awesome. Let's talk about the text feature. As I mentioned, Connor, when he wants to communicate with me, rarely calls. It's always texting, hey, I need this, whatever. And what does it look like when someone clicks on the texting feature? Because dealers are somewhat concerned, business owners concerned, is their texting compliant?
So on texting, obviously there are a lot of compliance, federal regulations that businesses have to go through to be compliant.
Right.
And when they submit our form, they're basically opting in to be texted to.
Okay.
And there's proper language. In that first text that goes back to the client, there needs to be proper language in there. For instance, you got to have stop to stop messages.
That's right.
And you should also inform them that standard data and messaging rates may apply. And that's how you stay compliant. So if somebody does opt out, you have to turn that off and not allow them. And while we're talking about texting, Brian, let's talk about dealers, their landlines.
Yes.
Big problem.
Because if somebody calls a customer based on a lead form submission, and that customer wants to text them back,
so
it doesn't work, right?
Exactly. So I'm a salesperson at a business, and I call somebody out of the blue. Well, a lot of times people won't even take a phone call if they don't recognize the number.
That's right.
So that phone call, ends, and then the person will send a text message and go, hey, who was this that just called me?
Right.
And it goes to a landline, and they get a message back, hey, you just tried to text the landline.
Right, which today kind of could kill that communication.
Right. So I would want to know that these people are trying to get hold of me.
That's right.
And basically when somebody sends a text, we can reply right through the tool. And the really cool thing about our texting tool is we allow you to create a video right from the tool. It'll launch your webcam on your PC, or it'll launch your webcam from your phone, and it will include it in a little link. And you can also create little mobile optimized web pages, which are really cool. Here's an example of one that Elise did, where basically she's got a video.
Yes.
And then there's these little mobile landing pages that you can take to somebody. So like, let's say you provide a customer a service, and you want to send them a thank you, and you want to give them more information. Maybe you want to give them a owner's manual or a how-to video.
That's right.
Well, you can include those in these little mobile links that you can build within our tool.
Well, you know, when I think of this specific example of sending something that wows consumers on a mobile phone, if I'm a restaurant, this could be, hey, where to park, where to, where to
Absolutely.
shop if you come down, maybe a link to a recipe book. If I'm a doctor, again, where to park, what are our hours, related information. If I'm a car dealer, this could be, hey, here's our extended warranty policy, here's our service hours.
Right.
Meaning, when somebody communicates with you and you make it easy for them to absorb, get that wow experience on a mobile phone, that's huge.
Not to mention the whole power of video. I mean, I heard something recently that people are more likely to do business with you if they can see a video of somebody at that business.
That's right. And we've been coaching business owners about how to integrate video into their CRM process. Of course, you with Phone Ninjas and Elise have been really pioneers in the automotive vertical about how to integrate video in. So I love the fact that you've pre-built templates that allow progressive business owners to include video and communication. You know, obviously the biggest form of lead management that business owners are familiar with are email leads, and so, or form leads. So in the Talk Options product, let's talk about that. If somebody fills out a form and it goes into your lead management system, can it also go into a third-party CRM? Tell us a little bit about that.
So they can choose to email the customer through our tool. They can easily embed a video into it as well. Predefined templates. So yes, they can do that through our tool, or they can do it through their Outlook or their CRM tool. It's the customer's choice.
Great. So you are providing a fully managed internet lead response system for chats, for texts, for forms, and that's self-contained, or you can have this nice widget block forward right into the CRM.
So for instance, with chat, Brian, let's say a company is using a company like Active Engage.
Right.
They have a managed chat. They're happy with Active. They like that tool. Well, the widget on our little widget, chat widget, will actually open up an Active Engage chat box. So it doesn't have to be, if they want to use our chat tool, which is completely free, they can. And we allow up to unlimited users. And there can actually be, you can have 4 active chats open at any one given time. And once again, you can include video, templates, and...
So again, dealers who are looking to consolidate their technology, consolidate the way people can communicate on their website, you're giving them the option to use all your tools or to integrate some of their existing partners.
For instance, let's say somebody didn't want to have a chat button. We can take that one right out. And the nice thing about our product, Brian, is that we're this product all in one. So a dealer doesn't have to go out and have a call tracking, which they might be paying $300 to $500 for. They don't have to have a separate chat product, which they're paying maybe $200 or $300 for. They don't have to have a texting product that they're paying another fee for. In my opinion, dealers get overcharged. Businesses get overcharged, and that's the beauty of this product. So it's all in one for one low price.
So let's talk about that. It's very common, a few $100 for chat, a few $100 for call tracking. When we talk about call tracking, recording the phone calls, inbound sales calls for customer service training or quality training. Obviously texting is new, and that's normally another channel. So a dealer could be paying, or a business could be paying $500 to $1,000 a month easily. How much is the product?
Well, we offer an entry-level product at $29.95.
Okay, and what do they get for that?
They get 250 text messages, 250 minutes of recorded calls. And let's say the business is doing 2,000 text and 2,000 minutes of call tracking.
Right.
It's only $199.
Wow. So when you think about the uniformity on mobile and desktop and tablet, a single channel for communication managed into a single lead management system, this can apply to any website, right?
Any website.
Any website that is looking to offer their customers or potential customers a multi-channel communication stream, Talk Options can plug right into their website.
Yep, we've built, Brian, in business, there's 3 things that make people successful. And one of them is building a great product, which I've done with this, offering it at a very fair price, and then providing outstanding customer service. And you know, while this is a relatively new product, my goal is to make it the best it can possibly be. So if a business owner comes to me and says, hey Jerry, would you consider doing this with your product? If it sounds like a great plan, I'm going to build it and put it into the product because I want this to be the best out there.
Well, one of the things that I want to close on is just that example. You had some feedback from your communications clients, people who are using this tool. Obviously, we are using it at our company as well to make it easy for customers to post a review. So why don't you tell our viewers today about the star button?
So the star button, you know, the other 4 buttons came first. The star button came a little later. And it's like, you know, we all want to get great reviews. And why not put the star button there, make it easy? Because most of the time we have to direct them to a third-party site to leave us a review. So we provided businesses with a review tool, the ability to leave a review. And if they don't want to use our tool, Brian, they can go out and use a third-party review. They could use Yelp. They could use DealerRater. They could whatever they want.
So the yellow button can direct them to wherever.
It can direct it to wherever they want to go.
Great. And so when a consumer clicks on your review tool, that goes into your own system where those dealers can then syndicate those reviews.
And they can reply to them. They can, you know, work with that. And to me, Brian, when somebody leaves a bad review for a business, you know, I wouldn't get upset about that because you know what? That's an opportunity for me to make my business better. When I know that I have a problem, you know, I can now address it and fix that problem and hopefully not have it again.
That's right. And the thing that I really liked about this tool is that it really provides this multi-channel feedback. I mean, if you think about what a chat is and what a text is and what an email is and even the reviews, it's a way in which people are choosing to communicate, and I love the fact that it's so streamlined. We installed it on our website a month ago, and our team loves it. I love it as a business owner because I know that the thousands of people that come to our website every month now have a clear, attractive way to communicate. And to tell you the truth, we've seen an increase in communications, and we've never had texting capabilities on our website before, and people are texting with us. So I think you're onto something, Jerry.
And let's just let's end this with one nice little piece here. You know, when we think about communication points and how customers communicate with us, well, obviously the lowest form of communication to me is an email. You know, because you're just words on a computer screen.
That's right.
And if you know, so hopefully we can get that person to gravitate towards a different format, which is going to be, you know, where we can use words and tones or maybe even facial.
That's right.
And our ultimate goal is to get the person into business.
That's right.
So to me, the second lowest form would be chat. Next would be texting, because now you're in somebody's personal space on their cell phone.
That's right.
And then obviously a phone call. Phone calls are what lead to the actual physical appointment. That's what everybody should be driving towards, is getting that customer to visit your business. They visited your website, now let's get them to visit your business in person.
That's right. And I will tell you, I was shocked. We surveyed over 600 business owners recently. We asked them, would you like more form leads or more phone calls? And they said form leads. And I was like so shocked. I was like, hold on. At best, 70% of the people who submit a form lead you can get on the phone. But you can get 100% of the people on the phone when they call you.
Well,
you know?
It's that whole mentality. People are afraid of the phone. It's like we live in an age where people would rather text and email.
That's right.
And they've forgotten how to talk on the phone, which is, you know, why my other business is so successful.
That's right. That's right. Well, Jerry, thank you so much for coming on today's show. I love that this product is so well priced. It's well thought out. It's month to month. There's no long contracts. There's nothing to prevent a business owner who has a website now to allow direct phone call with recording, chats, texting, email communications. Well, to me, it's the ultimate play to get consumers to engage with your brand. We wish you the best of luck with the product, and I hope to have you back next year after this product is really expanded into multiple verticals. I'd love to see what channels consumers are choosing.
And that's I want to get some good feedback as to what's the favorite means for communicating with businesses. Is it going to be text? Is it going to be phone call?
And it may be different for different verticals. In the restaurant business, it may be more texting, and maybe for medical, maybe more phone calls. But I'd like for you to come back, and as this product product expands across
Love to.
multiple industries. Would you come back and share that data with us?
Sure will.
Great. Jerry, thanks so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having me, Brian.
For today's marketing tip, I couldn't miss the opportunity, since Jerry Tebow is here in the studio, to talk about phone training. Jerry, thanks so much for allowing us a little more time to talk about your experience with dealers and their phone training.
Thank you, Brian.
Jerry, this show has focused on showing dealers new ways to generate more opportunities online, how to optimize their website, how to use social media. But today, Jerry, we are faced with more and more consumers are visiting the dealer from a smartphone. And Jerry, from your experience, what is the big wow factor that dealers aren't thinking about when they look at their website traffic and say, oh, my mobile traffic's up?
Well, obviously, it's up big time. It's up more than internet leads. And what happens is they spend all this money to drive somebody to their website to get that visitor. And then that person engages the business by calling, and the salespeople are horrible on the phone.
Right. And for dealers who are not familiar with the stat, it's about 7 to 1. For every lead form that's submitted on a dealership website, about 7 people will phone call, and yet dealers keep on saying, I want more leads, I want more leads. Well, shouldn't they be focusing on the larger lead source?
Hey, the phone call is the best lead you can get. I mean, that's somebody, and generally, Brian, the number one phone call we hear is this car available?
Right.
They might have 5 or 6 cars that they're going to call on, that they're going to go visit, they're thinking about visiting.
Right.
And when they call your dealership, they're looking for a reason not to go to your dealership.
Right.
And often salespeople will give them that reason on the phone, and then they move on to the next one. And then let's say they go through 5 phone calls, and it's like, which one of those didn't sound so bad?
Right,
and
right.
And then they go to that business.
Jerry, recently we conducted the CBT PCG automotive website survey, and I was shocked by one answer. We asked dealers from their website, what is one thing they want more of? And they said website leads, not phone calls. Jerry, what percentage of the people who submit a lead form do dealers actually get on the phone?
You know, for some dealerships, it's 50%.
Right.
Yeah.
So why would they want more?
They're only making one phone call, then they give up.
That's right. So it makes no sense. It's almost that they don't want more phone calls because maybe they know how bad their phone processes are.
Right. And the phone lead is the best possible lead you can get.
Great.
Other than a walk-in customer.
That's right. So dealers watching today's show, for today's marketing tip, Jerry, I want them to hear directly from you. You have pioneered phone coaching through the PhoneNinjas.com platform. A dealer who's really serious about selling more cars and engaging with the digital marketing tips, they have to invest in phone training. What typical result would a dealer who commits a year to your training and coaching platform, where do you see that lift? What could they expect?
So generally, you know, we see a lot of dealers, they might invest in some phone training. And Brian, when they bring out a trainer to their store, you know, that's a good start, but that's not enough. Right. And that's why they fail, because there's no reinforcement training that happens. And typically we see the average dealer making an appointment 10 to 20% of the time. You know, so 1 in 2 phone calls out of 10 is going to result in an appointment.
Right.
Dealers on our program that are doing the coaching process and focused on getting better, we have clients that are achieving 60 to 80% appointment ratios. And you know, you can also increase your show ratios as well, which is going to bring more visitors into your dealership. And it's, you know, what really works is when people know that they're being monitored and held accountable, they tend to perform at a higher level. And you know, we take that actual phone call, a real customer call, we open it up with some editing software, and we put the coaching inside of it. We tell people what they did right or what they did wrong. And so that when they take a second and third and fourth call, they're going to learn from their mistakes beforehand and they're going to get better.
That's
and
right.
Let's face it, nobody likes to learn a script or read from a script. But when you know the script by heart, Brian, it becomes a roadmap to success.
That's right, that's right. And Jerry, the reason why I just thought while you're here in the studio today, we need to reinforce that message. Phone skills are not made obsolete by the internet. They are not made obsolete by the mobile shopper. They're actually amplified. And dealers who are watching today's show, we need to passionately remind them that they could be getting a 200 or 300% increase in appointments from their existing marketing budgets if they just invested in phone training.
And if they're not doing it, I guarantee you their competitor is, and their competitor is getting their business.
Great. So dealers watching today's show, it's extremely important. Today's marketing tip may sound like an old-fashioned tip, but it's the most relevant tip that I could give you today, is that with mobile shopping on the rise and 7-to-1 phone calls to lead form ratio, you must have consistent coaching in place. The one-off inspirational visit from a phone coach, well, we know what happens is, you know, a month or two later, everyone's back to their own ways. Ladies and gentlemen watching today's show, take a moment to invest in consistent phone training, and PhoneNinjas.com is one of those excellent companies that are innovating that opportunity for dealers to, well, get more out of their marketing budget. So Jerry, thanks again for being on today's show, and I hope that dealers take the challenge and improve their phone skills.
Thank you, Brian.
And now for today's email grab bag question. An internet marketing manager wrote to ask, Brian, I have multiple third-party widgets on my vehicle detail pages. How do I know if consumers click on them? Well, this is a very timely question because bounce rate and driving people directly to VDPs, as we call them, is becoming increasingly popular. So how do we know? If you bring a consumer from your advertising, say like Google AdWords or lot links, directly to a VDP, and what if they click on Shop, Click, and Drive? What if they click on Carfax? What if they click on a third-party video player or a chat service? If they leave the page, Google's going to say they bounced, but really they didn't bounce, they engaged with the page. And so today, more and more advanced dealers are requesting that the Google Tag Manager be installed on their dealership website. What the Tag Manager does is allow dealers to define actions on the page that they want to track. For example, when someone clicks on the Carfax icon, when someone clicks on the Shop, Click, Drive, or the chat button, some code gets executed on their website. Tag Manager can look for those clicks. What does that mean for your dealership? It means that you could finally have more accurate data on bounce rate. Meaning, if someone comes to a page and says 3 or 4 seconds and leave, that's a bounce. But if someone comes to your VDP, scrolls up and down the page, plays a video, clicks on a Carfax, well, that is not a bounce to me. That is an engaged shopper. So with Google Tag Manager, you could look for when consumers play a video, scroll through photos, click on your Carfax or your third-party finance application. And if they do that, well, say, hey, this isn't a bounce, this is an engaged shopper. But until website standards are unified, where third-party widgets, well, are codified into conversion metrics, the only way we can do it is through the Google Tag Manager. So reach out to your website company, ask for Tag Manager to be installed, and then work with your third-party providers, those widgets, to know what is the code that has to be inserted in Tag Manager to track those conversions. If you have a question for the email grab bag and we use it on the show, well, you'll get a free copy of my book, Mastering Automotive Digital Marketing, the first textbook for automotive professionals. I want to thank Jerry Tebow for being on today's show, and I want to thank you for faithfully watching Auto Marketing Now every Wednesday. We'll see you next week on Auto Marketing Now.
Thank you for watching this week's edition of Auto Marketing Now.